live. I'm well and live. Okay. I gotta turn this around. I think that button does it. Okay. Okay. We're somebody that whistles for people. They thought you was going away.
That's funny. That was funny. I was sitting here hollering at them, but nobody paid attention. But kept that siren arm while they come running. Look at them.
That's an attention getter.
No, that's funny because I was like hollering at everybody to come on the speaker, and nobody paid attention. But kicked that on, and everybody turned around.
Hey, have you seen Patrick? Have you seen the D.J.I.
Yeah, I saw
that little one? You go live with them too.
Yeah, I'll give everybody a second to get live.
Want me to go live?
Is this a First Amendment speech?
This is a First Amendment speech.
Okay.
We're going live for the ones that aren't here. Let all those people up at the Fusion Center in Austin watch. There are going to be so many live feeds they won't know which one to look at.
Alright, let me go live, man.
Okay, we got two more coming. Come on, let's gotta wait for them. They're slow walkers.
Justin.
I'll bet if we were in the mall, you'd be walking faster.
And there was a sale.
You didn't even hear me.
There was pizza.
No, we had donuts here, but we didn't have any donut operators show up to get them.
No, we gotta feed our police officers that.
You know, if they're full of donuts, they can't get out and chase down jaywalkers, right?
Right, or evaders.
Yeah, can't shoot the dog.
What's your favorite dog breed?
Get me started on that.
Let me get that cool ass thumbnail for you.
Somebody said.
So, I know a lot of you are cop haters that are here. I can see it in your eyes. That's the myth that's being spread. But I don't think that any of you are, well, maybe anyone is. I don't think that any of you are really cop haters. I know I'm not. You know, but
My wife is a cop.
oh, well, there you go.
I love her.
That's the myth that they like
she
to
handcuff
spread
you at night?
because what we're doing is making a change. We're getting the attention of the people. We're educating them on their rights, and that's a threat to bad cops. And when you come out and support us like this, I know I know you got better things to do on your weekends than come hang out in a police station parking lot with an old dude. A few old dudes actually. Yeah. But it's important. It's important that we show them that we're not afraid, and that we're going to stand up and we're going to exercise our rights, and we're not going to just live in fear of them. And if that's what police and bad cops live off of, what they feed off of, is the fear that citizens have of standing up. So I appreciate everybody that came out, and I'm very honored that you took time out of your life to come over here and support us and back us. So I think Tim Harper wanted to say a thing or two when he gets done yapping. That is a yapping dude. You'll be all right in a minute. But you know, keep track of what's going on. Start paying attention to what's happening in the legislature, because they're coming up with a lot of new bad intentioned laws that are sponsored by the police union. They're actually trying to make it difficult to record police interactions here in Texas, similar to that Oklahoma law that they were trying to pass, and it's actually failed. So we've got to be vigilant. doing. And rather than clean up their mess and get rid of the bad officer, they'll continue to cover for the bad officer and just create more discord with the community. You know, that whole thing with the blue line, this is something that a lot of people miss. Look at this parking lot. You see these lines? These lines are used to divide. And that's what that blue line is for. It's to divide people from law enforcement. And that's not how it's meant to be. There's supposed to be a bridge between us. And as long as that bridge doesn't exist, we're going to continue to have more and more problems. So, Tim, did you want to say anything? Tim just beat a case in Oklahoma. It took him 2 years to do it. Basically, it was a retaliatory arrest.
Yeah, that's correct. I was arrested for carrying in a restaurant, like a Chili's. It's like a Chili's restaurant, for carrying an AR-15 in there on the second day of constitutional carry in Oklahoma. And the reason they did it is they didn't like my videos, because I'd go around and show you how that you can video the police, or when you get pulled over by the police, if you're the passenger, you don't have to ID, that you can actually carry guns in Oklahoma. I was carrying AR-15s when it was illegal, but I was carrying a pistol under my handgun license, and the response I got from the police was just incredible. You know, I had AR-15s pointed at me. It made the news, it made the newspaper, it made the whole state, and it caused the people to start talking about it. And then constitutional carry got passed, and it kind of blew by the wayside. But they went after me for walking down 23rd Street in Oklahoma City, which is a predominantly black neighborhood. It's a little poor, a little economically depressed. I went down there to speak with people of color about their right to carry and why don't they do it more. Because gun control is racist, and that the beginnings of gun control is racist. Yet all the time I see is Sherry Dickerson, the Black Lives Matter leader, talking about how guns in the community are causing the problem. No, it's not the guns, it's not that. But if we would use the guns to protect ourselves, we may not have had Tulsa burned down in 1920 or 21. We may not have had people loaded into cattle cars in Germany if the people were able to arm themselves and exercise their rights to the fullest extent. What they've done is we should have never stopped carrying in the first place, but they did. They stopped us from carrying in public to desensitize us from that. So when you, the normal person, sees someone walking down the street with a gun like I have, the first thing they think is he's going to go shoot somebody. He's up to no good. When back in the day, you go into courthouses like in Missouri, when me and Patrick went in there, every mural in the courthouse depicts a rifle. It depicts a handgun out on the frontier. They were using the guns for tools, and nobody cared. It was not a big deal. It's what you do with it, not the fact that the mere possession of an item. And they've got us in the mindset that the mere possession of your camera, your rifle, your handgun is a crime. Just the possession of it, not the fact that you didn't use it for anything. So until we can get the masses and the normies straightened out in their thinking that the possession of these items and the use of your cameras is not a crime and should not be suspicious, we need to get out there and do it more so that we get the people awake to what's going on. And you've got too many people that say, yeah, you can do it, but why? Why would you carry that rifle down the street? Why would you run a camera at me walking down the street and video my business or the police? Why don't you just leave them alone? Don't you have anything better to do? Well, that's what football does. You know, every Monday night you've got to watch football. You're into sports, and you're being desensitized to what's going on in your government. We have to read our bills that come down in our state legislators and read what's in them, because we've got some in Oklahoma that are going to reverse permitless carry, and no one's talking about it. So get active, get out there, exercise your rights, know what you can and can't do, and understand. Like if you're in a private business and you're filming and they tell you stop, well, you have to stop. It's a private business. Understand the law and understand what you're doing. Don't give them that arrest. Like they said in the 70s, don't feed the bears on CV. And that means, you know, the bears were the police. Don't feed them by giving them a ticket. So deny them that right to arrest you, and you win. You don't have to be arrested to prove that they're tyrants or that they're violating your rights.
Hey, can I say a few encouraging words?
For those of you that don't know, this is Floyd Wallace. He just got out of jail this morning. He's the most arrested auditor in the United States.
Yay!
Where are you going to get arrested next week? Push the button on the side.
All right, guys. So if you guys don't know who I am News Now Omaha Cop Watch. I'm the guy that seems to get arrested a lot, even though I've committed no real criminal crime. I've done nothing illegal. I got a few encouraging words for you guys. Even through the toughest situations, if you have proof that you're not guilty, you should be able to win in court. Well, unless they're corrupt, then the courts too. Then you're screwed. But yeah, man. Even through the toughest times, always film the bullies. I am a perfect example of that. And so I'm happy you guys came out here. I'm happy you guys came out and joined the rally. I came from Nebraska, so I'm happy to be here. And that's all I wanted to say. And support the 1A community, guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming out. There's a few of us that are going to try and find a local restaurant. Anybody wants to tag along, welcome to tag along. I'm not lying. Don't give any of y'all. I'm broke. But we're going to go get something to eat and just hang out. Again, I'm honored that you took time out of your weekend to come out here and visit with us. All you just run around here saying I'm a celebrity. No, you guys are the celebrities.
Godfather!
We can walk around downtown too. They don't like the cameras or the guns. They hate it downtown.
Godfather on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Godfather!
Embarrassing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Godfather's pizza.
Oh, God. It's funny.
What I'm looking at was backing
Oh,
out.
one last thing. Be sure to take all your trash with you, or there's trash bags here in the back of my truck. Let's leave it better than we found it, so that they can never say, you know, that we're bad people.
I'm in across this.
Please speak with the microphone.
Hey, it's Doc Green. Howdy.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, how you been?
Hold on just a minute. We had a late arrival, local celebrity that's a little late arrival here. Those you that don't know who this is Doc Green. He's a local activist. Been an activist a lot longer even than I have.
Well, I'm glad to see all of you down here today. We are all here for one reason, and that is we are Texans and we love liberty. And anytime anyone has their liberty taken away by a tyrant, every Texan has not just a right, but an absolute responsibility to stand up to those tyrants. Amen. And that is why I'm here today. That's why we're broadcasting live. I thank News Now Patrick there for getting it. Yeah. But that's why I'm down here today. All you do is you let them take a little liberty here, a little liberty there, and the next thing you know, you don't have any liberty left. Just like the old story of the dog and the chain. And they keep shortening the chain until finally the dog can't even walk anymore. That's what they've been doing to us steady on. And I've been preaching against this on my show for the last 10 years. That is Right Side of the Mic, which you can find on avrn.tv. You can find it on rightamericamedia.com. You can also find it 3 times a day on ragingelephants.radio.com. We are here because we want liberty. We have watched what has been happening. It is so nice to see so many unmasked faces down here. And I would wear a mask if they worked. The problem is I know too much about science. I have too many medical professionals in my family, and I know masks don't work. The other reason I don't like masks is because criminals wear masks. And when you see somebody with a mask, you can be pretty sure he's up to something nefarious. So if the shoe fits, I'm telling you, once again, this old COVID thing was hatched back in 2015 for the sole reason of taking away your liberty. and we cannot put up with it. I am amazed that here in the great state of Texas, the home of the Alamo, which is known around the world, how quickly we bowed down and kissed the glove and said, "Mother, may I?" This has got to stop. So what David's here doing today, what News Now Patrick is here doing today, and what a lot of you other guys that unfortunately do not know are here doing today, is we're here to let the LaPorte Police Department, the LaPorte Mayor, and all of the other elected lackeys down here in LaPorte, Texas, know that we're not going to stand for it, and we're not just going to give it up. And so I have ultimate respect for David for standing up, knowing that we're going to arrest him, and doing it anyway, for standing up for your liberty. He doesn't do it for money, folks. He does it because it matters. Now look at me. I'm an old guy. I'm checking out of this thing pretty soon. I do what I do because I've got 10 grandchildren. They deserve more than what they're gonna get unless we change something pretty soon. So it gladdens my heart to see you here today. I'd like to have saw 10,000 people here today because it's that important. But nonetheless, it gladdens my heart to see you. Each and every one of you has a sphere of influence. You have a circle, some larger than others, of people that care about you and care about what you have to say. It is so critical that you reach out to those people and get them involved, because one person can't do it, 10 people can't do it. When we get enough people involved, we can do it. The entire representative constitutional republic that we used to have here in the United States was dependent upon that, but we got a little complacent. We started kicking back and saying, well, the ball game's on. Is anybody gonna watch the ball game? That's what I thought. That's at least off the plate. Now, we can start paying a little more attention. Well, the school play is on. My grandkid or my kid's in the school play. I gotta be there for that. I respect that. Family is the foundation of everything. But if we lose our liberty, nothing else matters. We have got to stand up for this. I'm going to give you one charge here today, and that is this. There's only one thing right now on the Texas agenda that matters at all. Just one thing. And that is saving the right to vote. And the only way that we can do that is we've got to throw out every voting machine, every piece of voting software that we're currently using, all of the gazillions of dollars Harris County just spent on voting machines. That needs to go out the window. We need to return to paper ballots, printed on rag paper with gold embossed serial numbers. And somebody said, why gold embossed serial numbers? Because you have to have a special stamping machine to put a gold embossed serial number on it. And that makes it virtually impossible to counterfeit. The reason we lost Harris County and the reason it has gone so far to the left is because they stole the election system. They took over the software and they are now running it. If we do not get that election back, and if we don't fix this soon, which means you need to be calling your state legislatures. Let me see how many of you know who your state rep is. Please raise your hand if you know who your state rep is.
I'm not from here, so I wouldn't know.
That's not many of you. That's okay.
You're somewhere, so. Yeah.
But you should know your state rep where you are. Do you know who your state senator is? I don't mean Corny Cornyn and Ted Cruz. I mean who your actual state senator is. My case is Paul Betancourt.
Yeah, I had breakfast with her on Thursday.
All right.
Yeah.
You need to have these people on freaking speed dial. They should know your voice. You've got to call them that often. And you've got to call them and tell them that we have to fix this and we have to fix it now. Because I'm going to tell you what's left. If we don't fix this, we do not have until 2022 to solve this problem. So let me tell you what's left. 1776 is what's left. There is nothing else. They have stolen the elections. They have stolen the court system. There is no justice in the court system. I think maybe David might agree with me on that. There's probably not 5 honest judges in the United States at this point in time. So if they've stolen the court system, the justice system has become invalid. They have stolen the election system, and we can't fix that. There's only one other way that we can have an effect, and that is to use our God-given rights. I'm carrying this rifle today for a reason. It is my God-given right to do so. Yeshua, also known as the mighty God in Christ, gave a command. And you can find it in Luke 22:36. Is there anybody that knows what Luke 22:36 says? I just want to see. One person. Luke 22:36. It's a very dramatic command. It's the only one that God cared so much about. He came here and delivered it in person. The Lord Yeshua, the mighty God in Christ, the creator of 100 billion galaxies, according to NASA, said, if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. You got to remember the day that statement was made, the finest military offensive weapon that any man could own was a sword. Even today as I stand here, if you have a fine, well-made sword, you can slice an entire roll of carpet in two with one fell swoop. That's how dangerous a sword was then, how dangerous it is today. Jesus Christ said you should own a military offensive weapon that had no purpose but to kill people. Now, what was the context in that verse? Because he knew that you were going to need to be able to defend yourself from overreaching federal governments. He wasn't so much worried about the thugs on the road as he was worried about the government soldiers that might come to attack them. Luke 22:36, written by Dr. Luke, the Greek physician, who also wrote the book of Acts, which is a 30-year history of the church, just in case you wondered. He gave that command so that we would be knowledgeable and ready. Our Second Amendment, which is now null and void since 1934, but our Second Amendment was based on Luke 22:36. You've got to understand, this is not a state-given right. This is a God-given right.
Amen.
And there's nobody in this LaPorte County Courthouse, there's nobody in the LaPorte Police Department that has any right or ability to stand between you and a direct command from God. I wish more of you today were acting upon that command. I wish more of you were. I'm telling you, the time is coming when if you are not armed, you will be killed. Right now in Myanmar, anybody know what country
Yes.
that is?
Yes.
It used to be called Burma for some of you old guys. Myanmar, the people there are trying to they wanted democracy. They never even had a democratic representative republic based on a constitution. But they want a democracy. They're trying to get it right now. You know what they're fighting with? Their bare hands and pots and pans. And they asked the guy, why don't you use guns? He said, we don't have any weapons. Their government disarmed their people. 100% of tyrants agree that if you disarm the people, you can do anything you want. So, you guys have got to start standing up for your rights. I'd like to see a lot more of you open carry. I went to Austin, fought hard with C.J. Grisham to get open carry for Texas. Now what do we really want? We want Luke 22:36, which we also call constitutional carry. There are 19 other states that have it. 20 now. Why is Texas following? Why is Texas sucking hind tit, to use an agrarian term? I'm sick of it. Unfortunately, Greg Abbott's a Democrat. If you don't believe me, you can go to my YouTube channel, listen to my case. I laid it out like a good prosecuting attorney. Greg Abbott is a Democrat. Changed my mind. So far, over 20,000 views, 5 thumbs down. I happen to know that one of them was Greg Abbott. And nobody has refuted my case. But I laid it out there for you so that you guys can make the decision if I'm right or wrong. There we are. So, anyway, getting back to it. You guys are here today to stand up for liberty. I'm here today to stand up for liberty. And it doesn't end here. We can't stop. We've got to keep moving forward. I hope you guys will find the Doc Green Show right side of the mic. And if you have not subscribed to News Now, Now would be a good time to do it. Pull out your smartphone and get on there, get on YouTube and do that. Thank you, David Warden.
Thanks for coming out, Doc.
Amen. Yeah, thank you.
We,
One more time, then we're going to go get the food.
we fought a battle in Oklahoma for permitless carry. It was a hard-fought battle. We went down that road 2 years ago, and you know the thing about Texas is you can carry an AR-15 without a license. You can do that. So it's kind of proven to the world down here. Yeah, we can do this. You can carry. You don't have to have a background check. It wasn't that way in Oklahoma. We were the opposite. So we had handgun licensing up there, but you could not carry a rifle. That's why I had to carry a pistol AR-15 and do everything open carry. When everybody said that the world was going to fall, that it was going to be blood in the streets when permitless carry came through, and when it passed, we had a few rallies. I walked around a bit, and that was it. There's no big deal to it. There's nothing. You don't have to ask permission to carry a gun. You don't need a background check. Let's say we outlawed every gun right now. Everybody here can now have a gun. Guess what? They're wrong. People will still have them, and they're the ones that are breaking the law. Gun control laws only work on those who follow the gun laws. So in Oklahoma, also, as he said about voting, we have paper ballots in Oklahoma. You know how long it takes to when a precinct closes to get that count in with our paper ballots? 2 hours. And we're done. We can tell you who won. Put your paper in the machine. It gets counted. It is not hooked to the internet. It goes to some type of card. It is not an SD card or something available to you and me. It's a proprietary memory card, and it is locked in a box and tagged and driven to the election board where they plug it in and tabulate it. So you can do it. Down with internet voting, down with internet machines. It is secure and have licenses, ID.
Well, I might stay longer, but the old man says we got to go. Thank you for coming with your sign and exercising your First Amendment right and your Second Amendment right. You know who gave that right to you, right? God? Yes.
Me being born.
Yes, amen, you being born. Thank you. Thank you all so much for showing up. God bless all of you. I'm here because I believe victims have rights. I'm a victims' right advocate, and I'm an ADA advocate, American Disability Act. So our government servants are violating the restraining order known as the Constitution every day all across America. You too should become an advocate for victims. I hear too many stories of parents with their children and grandchildren that are run roughshod, treated any kind of way, and they're good people. Real good people. But they're treated like dirt, like animals, less than animals. We're becoming Planet of the Apes, for real. God bless you. Bye-bye.